Good evening, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from the YouTube channel as I continue my part series. The week that was college football history review, the 1973 college football season. From November 17th, 1973, this is week 10. Here we go. Syracuse beat Boston College by a score of 24-13. Maryland beat Clemson by a score of 28-13. Maryland grabbed its first bowl bid since 1956 Orange Bowl as tailback Lewis Carter rushed for 127 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 50-yard burst that opened the scoring. The Tigers answered with quarterback Ken Pingetor's 19-yard pass to wide receiver Gordy Bingle to tie the game. Despite edging Terps in offense by 336 yards to 331 yards, Clemson self-destructed on Pingetor's 3 interceptions, even though he hadn't thrown interception to end last season. Maryland made an interception deep in Clemson's end and another set up Terps touchdown. North Carolina State, the number 20 team in the country, beat Duke 21-3. Liberty Bowl came knocking for North Carolina State, which was on the verge of clinching the undefeated ACC crown. Wolfpack rebounded from stinging loss to Penn State and led all game against Devils. Defensive back Eddie Poole made key interception and tailback Willie Burden scored twice. Fading Duke could count only tie against Wake Forest among its last 8 tilts and clearly had worst record in its history to that point. Devils managed only field goal by kicker Dave Malachek. Next, number 2, Alabama beat Miami by a score of 43-13. Alabama scored twice on punt returns to stretch score against hard-nosed Hurricanes. Defensive tackle Reuben Carter's 16 tackles led Miami defense that contained awesome Crimson Tide rushing attack, surrendering only 282 yards, which was 233 yards below the Tide's average. But Alabama quarterback Gary Rutledge threw 2 touchdowns, a 69-yard effort to wide receiver Johnny Sharpless, and 9-yard pass to halfback Randy Billingsley. Crimson Tide of Alabama built a 22-0 halftime lead, but Miami scored twice in the second half, including a 78-yard pass from quarterback Coy Hall to wide receiver Steve Marcantonio, but was victimized by 4 interceptions, 2 that was nabbed by Alabama cornerback Mike Washington. Mississippi beat Tennessee, the number 16 team in the country, 28-18. Using open week, Mississippi coach Johnny Vaught installed a new offense and offshoot of Wishbone called L that Volunteers could not contain. So tailback Jim Reed, who came off the bench in the second quarter to rush for 137 yards, led Ole Miss rush attack. Reed's second touchdown run put Rebels up 21-3 in the third quarter. Meanwhile, Volunteers reserve quarterback Gary Valbuna, in relief of injured quarterback Condridge Holloway, threw second half touchdowns up 23 yards. 2 tailback Paul Carruthers and 31 yards to wide receiver Stanley Morgan. Next, Michigan State beat Indiana by a score of 10-9. Oklahoma, number 3 team in the country, beat number 18 Kansas 48-20. Big 8's other 7 teams were growing fast, but were still not up to the level of the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma scored 27 first quarter points, then added 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Oklahoma was up 7-0 before it got on field. Its offense got on the field. Cornerback Clyde Powers took interception of Kansas quarterback David James 45 yards for the touchdown. James answered with a 57-yard pass for a touchdown to wide receiver Emmett Edwards. But then Sooners' route heated up because OU kicker Tony DiRienzo hit 60-yard field goal to set Big 8 distance record. Halfback Joe Washington scored first of his 2 rushing touchdowns, and quarterback Steve Davis got into the mix with 48-yard scoring strike to tight end Steve Hoffman. Soon, Oklahoma had 41-12 lead. Jayhawks prevented further damage with fourth quarter interceptions by cornerback James Bowman. Returned 92 yards for the closing touchdown. Next, Iowa State upset number 14, Missouri, by a score of 17-7. Cyclones won defensive struggle and upset as they held Missouri to 119 yards of offense. Iowa State led 3-0 at halftime for quarterback Buddy Hardman. Found tight end Keith Krepfel for a 9-yard touchdown pass. Down 10-0, Tigers concocted trick touchdown play. Tailback Chris Hoskins threw a 4-yard scoring pass to wide receiver Jim Sharp, but Iowa State defensive end Lon Coleman finished off Missouri with fumble recovery at Tigers' 18-yard line late in the game. Fullback Phil Danowski scored 3 yards run 4 plays later. Next, Rice beat Texas A&M by a score of 24-20. With only 2:27 remaining, Texas A&M sent much of Big Rice Stadium crowd sallied to exits by punching across fullback Bucky Sam's 2-yard touchdown run for its only lead of day. Not so fast, our fans, because it took only 13 seconds for former Texas High School hurdles champ Rice halfback Carl Swerk to corral ensuing kickoff, sneak out of pack of players and roar 95 yards for a winning touchdown with 2:14 left in the game. Now, the Aggies' young quarterback sensations like David Walker then came off the bench, past A&M to the 10-yard line with help from interference penalty on Owls. But with less than 30 seconds left, the Aggies inexplicably went into 2 runs that made it only to the 5-yard line, where Rice defensive lineman Cornelius Walker put final clamps on Walker. Although Rice gained only 160 yards on 50 offensive plays, it led 17-0 at halftime thanks to quarterback Fred Giesler, 2 touchdown passes, including a beautiful 38-yard hookup with wide receiver Ed Lofton. Now, Owls were inspired to win twice, more to finish 1973 on a 4-game victory streak. Last but not least, Air Force upset number 19 Arizona Wildcats 27-26. Wildcats drove 83 yards in final 90 seconds to pull within 27-26 on a 14-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Bruce Hill to tight end Tom Campbell. Hill pitched to halfback Willie Hamilton on a 2-point conversion attempt, but Falcons safety Steve Hale came up to make tackle to end game. Air Force kicker Dave Lawson, 28 yards, fourth quarter field goal, provided winning points set up by interception by linebacker Dennis Collins. Falcons quarterback Rich Haney completed 20 out of 32 for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, both caught by wide receiver Frank Murphy. So that concludes a look at Week 10, the games that were played on November 17, 1973, the week that was college football history review, the 1973 college football season. Now it's time to get into the, got 2 more weeks to go. Week 10, week 11, week 12, that's it. All right, let's get into it. The AP polls on November 19th, you had number 20 was a tie for the 20 spot between Kansas and Pittsburgh. 19 was Missouri, 18 was Oklahoma State, 17 was Tulane, number 16 North Carolina State, number 15 was Miami of Ohio, 14 was Houston, 13 Arizona State, 12 Texas Tech, 11 Texas. Now here's the top 10. The top 10 look like this: Nebraska number 10, number 9 Southern California, 8 UCLA, 7 Louisiana State, 6 Penn State, number 5 Notre Dame, 4 Michigan, 3 Oklahoma, number 2 Alabama, and number 1 was Ohio State for that week, for November 19th AP poll. So I got 2 more weeks to go to look at. So that includes look at college football history review, 1973 college football season for week number 10. Tomorrow Thursday I'll do week 11, November 22nd to November 24th. 1973, the games that I played during that time, and concluded with December 1st after that on Friday. So I'll be done with the regular season. This will be week 11. That'll be on Thursday. So like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. I'll do video this magnitude tomorrow. Until then, talk to you soon.